Welcome to SFH Presents One More Podcast.
Welcome to SFH Presents One More Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Polk, here with my co-host, Ty Southern. Today we have with us Albert Bramante. Albert, you actually reached out to us through email, which is cool. I love meeting new people. Before we get to that, we are not medical professionals.
Nope.
At least the two of us are not. So if you need help, actual help, go to someone who is actually qualified. But we're here for you too, you know. Albert, to get right to the question, what does still fucking here mean to you?
Well, that just means that we're existing and surviving in this kind of messed up world sometimes that we're in.
I can. Yeah, that's.
I think we should have an entire discussion on that already, just that alone.
I think you trimmed all the fat, and that got right to the just that one.
Yeah.
Whoa, ninja.
Kind of exactly it. So I briefly read through the email you sent, and you were saying you think you had some things you could apply, especially with using AI and things, which Ty and I have had some hilarious headbutting about.
Mm-hmm.
When ChatGPT first came out, I was like, "Oh, dude, you got to use it. I can use it for everything." And then it became him calling it my girlfriend.
He fervently defends her lordship, ChatGPT. It's borderline that movie Her.
Like I broke up with her and I moved on to Grok. So now
either one. Yeah, which Grok sounds like a Viking goddess who's gonna eat your head. Which
is exactly what turns me on these days. Is
Queen of all the Shield Maidens kind of vibe.
Everybody's got their own little vices there.
It's their own vibes, man.
So tell us a little bit about what you do, what brought you to us.
Yeah.
Well, I think I fall in the middle between you two about AI. Like I think it's great, but I also think it has its limitations on some level.
Right.
Too. But as far as like fundamentally what I do is I work with actors. I'm a talent agent in New York, so I represent actors for film, TV, theater, commercial, print, and voiceover. I've also spent a lot of time teaching, so I teach psychology at a community college, and so I'm very passionate about like mental health and advocacy and all that. And so when I was completing my PhD dissertation, I had to obviously took a topic, and one thing I was noticing a lot more of artists and even students were self-sabotaging. And so that's what I did my dissertation on, which turned into my book that I, wrote last year, Rise Above the Script. Now, so that's where I come in. That's where I've been coming in. I've been trying to, working on getting on different podcasts to kind of like, promote the book, but also kind of talk about a topic that, self-sabotage, fear of success, which affects everybody, not just performers, but just, really anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, I only have my personal experience of 30 years being a musician on the road, playing all over the country. And through the entire experience, I had I very much lived with imposter syndrome. And I'm sure that's something you deal with actors as well.
Yeah, and that's a big thing with imposter syndrome, especially with actors or anybody who's in the performing arts, because it's very exciting, but it's also incredibly tough profession. I don't want to sugarcoat that at all. It's a tough business.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of competition, plus it's oversaturated.
Yeah.
Yep. And you still end up seeing all the main big names over and over and over again.
Yeah, and the same people sometimes get the same roles. And
realize that, there's not been a huge breakout something or another in a minute, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like,
let's get back to it.
It's kind of feast or famine, probably the same way it is with music.
Yeah.
Where when you're at a certain level or you're doing some great things, then you're doing well and money's good and everything.
While the iron's hot.
That can go away in a second. You got that breathing down your neck.
Yeah.
And that's what especially with child actors, for instance. A lot of times you see, child actors were back, they were very popular, and then A lot of times, when they start aging out of their roles,
Yep.
only a handful really make it to adulthood. Otherwise, they just become just
Yeah.
regular, ordinary people, which can be a little tough to adjust or to
Yeah, I
manage.
mean, I wouldn't be able to deal with, were you that girl from that movie, or were you that guy from that movie that everyone loves so much, all day, every day, while I'm trying to do my real life, regular human job?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, no, we just look a lot alike. Shut up. I hate you. Like, I got
Well, and that brings up a good point too. A lot of especially the more high-profile actors, really don't like being in the spotlight.
Right.
They don't want to be bothered. They're out with their family. They want to just go out and
Yeah.
have a normal evening. And now they have, now you're going to see them really just being manhandled everywhere they go because
Right.
everybody wants to be around them, taking a picture. But
yeah,
what
and
really, Mhm.
good. I just don't
I was gonna say,
understand why the civilian populace or whatever, I don't know what, obviously they're general public. I don't understand why that person starring in whatever or whatever it is makes you think you have a right to like go fuck up their night, and
Like
like you're entitled
right,
to some picture, you're entitled to their time. Like, no, you were
yeah,
entitled to their time for the 160 minutes that they were on the screen. That's the
yeah,
part they sold to you. Like, that's the part you have access to. The rest of it, they're humans. Why would you not treat them like humans?
right. Because everybody's trying to live vicariously through
It's
them,
so frustrating.
and a lot of times it's like people want to be around them not because of who they are individually, but because of their characters that they play or what they represent.
Yeah.
Um, and that can bring up a lot of bit of a challenge too, because they can't go out to the store just to get. They want to
right.
go food shopping, or they want to go out again to dinner with their family, or just
Yeah.
out. They not into town. They can't do that without being sworn. Um, so that's that's what I've noticed too, even with higher profile actors. Plus, again, the industry is so kind of fickle that you could be one minute being very popular, and then the next moment you're almost a no as what we call has been,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that's not easy to deal with,
Yeah.
to kind of face, and that's why we'll see meltdowns like Britney Spears having been having public meltdowns.
Yeah.
Well, and especially a lot of people in the entertainment industry. Again, I can relate so much of what you're saying to musicians as well. Especially when you hit some type of fame early in your life, it like stunts your emotional and mental growth as well.
Hmm.
So they're not equipped to handle the downside of them like falling off and losing their level of fame.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No,
You have to have,
absolutely. They have a
yeah.
hard time with that, writing that, because that's really, they almost have no even they themselves, like the audience gets lost in the characters, and sometimes they do too.
Yeah.
They get lost a lot of times in their own characters that they play. Um,
Ooh, Bill
if you
Shatner.
even look at like Heath Ledger, for instance, back The Dark Knight,
Yeah.
that was a tragic case. I mean, he wound up having needing a lot of drugs and had an OD at the end. And
Yeah.
some people were speculating it was really like the Dark Knight, that kind of role that kind of just sent them over the edge.
I just
Um,
think he wanted to sleep.
yeah. Well, he wanted. I
Sorry.
think sometimes it could just be I wanted to end.
Yeah.
I just want to escape this for a bit. And of
Yeah.
course, he just consumed too much of whatever he was taking. Needed to do that, and then
Yeah.
that was the end.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's another legend that was gone too soon, taken away too far
Yeah. He had
from
another
too young
couple
from us.
decades in him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being an entertainer, and I would consider actors entertainers. I mean, it's different because it's not live generally, but they're putting on. I mean, when I go on stage, I'm a pretty introverted person. I've also lived with pretty dark depression for a long time, but that 2 hours or 3 hours I'm on the stage,
Hmm.
I'm an actor. I'm putting on a show.
Yeah.
I'm selling something that it's a lot of times I would leave the stage and cry myself home. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't doing well,
Mm.
but I played that role well, you know.
Yeah,
But
and it was actually persona you were playing. It's a
right,
persona.
yeah,
It's not because even a lot of actors, even though actors that play like larger than life characters, a lot of them are extremely shy.
yep. I
Off
was
Shit.
just
camera,
thinking that.
private. You're
What?
not going to see them at like these lavish networking parties unless they have to go to promote something for
Yeah,
work.
Joaquin
But then,
Phoenix is famously one of those. Joaquin
they
Phoenix
want
hates
they
to
want to be left
impress.
alone. Yeah, they want to be left alone and and just kind of blend in like normal society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have two ends of that when it comes to the personalities of entertainers. You have one is that I noticed through music that a lot of these people are there for the love of music. They're there for the art. They're artists. They're introverted. They're great at that, but they're not equipped for all the fame and all the fun, all the interactions with people, and so on and so forth. And the other end of it is that there's also like a little bit of crazy involved in deciding to follow the arts. You know, if you've decided to become an actor, you know, you're probably a little bit wild, a little bit, you know, you want to grab life by the balls type thing. And
Hmm.
you know, once you reach some level of success, and I've seen it happen in music, and it's definitely happened. Heath Ledger's a perfect example, where you get this level of fame, and you're like, well, it doesn't feel exactly like I thought it was going to feel. So
Right.
what's the next thing that's going to make me feel? Maybe these drugs will like give me that life that I'm not, or that feeling I'm not getting.
Or make the pain stop. In a
Exactly.
sense, they're I just want to escape. I want to, especially if I'm dealing with any type of trauma that kind of led me into this, because most people don't go into really act, as you said, for show business, unless again they're needing that some sort of that outlet. And um, I notice a lot of even my clients now. Most of the actors I work with are people that you wouldn't. I'm going to be straight up. You wouldn't really know,
Right.
but because they're not household names. But even they, a lot of times, are dealing with their own issues. And one of the presenters was, I forget the actor's name, but I was watching the Screen Actors Guild one time, and they were giving these guidelines for actors and how to accept their awards. And one act, well, the organizer kind of set up. I don't want to said to everybody, I don't want to hear about your amazing childhood,
Right.
because if you had an amazing childhood, you wouldn't be an actor.
Yeah. I
And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
so much. I mean, connect that too with like comedians. Nobody in comedy wants to hear about. You know what I mean? You had a hard. They want to hear about how hard your life was and why you're funny. Like your parents are
Mhm.
probably divorced. You probably, you know, it's the same type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of the time that the comedy is their way of cathartic
Right.
experiences of what they've been going through in their
Right.
life, and that's why comedians can be very unhappy, people depressed
Oh
and
yeah.
unhappy, and it's their way, their outlet. I mean, look at Robin Williams; it was tragedy, but look, that, and a lot of people are not, affiliated with the industry or don't know too much about mental health, or like speculating, why would Robin Williams do that? He had everything. I'm like, no, he didn't. He might have had the external metrics of things, the money, the, the fame, but there was a lot of things that were fundamentally missing. Um,
Yeah.
Also, if you look at the case of like Anthony Bourdain, the celebrity
Yeah.
chef who wound up committing suicide, he had millions, but
Yeah, but
that's
couldn't we say the same thing I just said for an actor reaching the top or a musician reaching the top? Is also people think money solves problems, and I know a lot of unhappy rich people.
Oh, money is the last thing that will solve problem. Actually, it'll create more problems.
Yeah.
If you haven't dealt with already, because that's where a lot of people think, well, if I just hit the lottery, my problems will be over. Like maybe the current problems you have right now, but you're gonna have a whole host of new problems that are gonna come
Right.
up,
Yeah. You just replace
and
some shit with other shit.
you're just replacing one problem with the other, unless you fundamentally deal with whatever it is. And I also know people that are very poor that are very happy, and
Yeah.
that are very, when I say poor, I mean by poor financial
Yeah. Yeah.
standards, but they're happy and they're content,
Yeah.
and so I mean, money definitely will help in certain situations, but it's not going to make you happy, and it's not. I mean, it's a cliche statement, but it's true that money does not buy you happiness.
Yeah, fact. I mean, it's again, it's underlying. You have this society where, in a capitalist society, it's in order to be successful, you kind of got to be a freak about whatever the thing you're going for is. And when
Oh
you
yeah.
commit so much time to being a freak about something, you don't tend to work on yourself. You don't tend to work on your trauma, or work through the things that to make yourself emotionally intelligent and to learn to deal with whatever everybody's on spectrums, you know?
Oh yeah.
So to actually deal with that shit and learn how to manage what you have or what you deal with. So then when they finally hit some point, they're just stuck with themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Never figured out how to be a
Absolutely.
person. I just sing good.
Yeah. Well, that's the weird thing too, is I've watched bands, you know, just take an example. When I was young, I was really into Korn. Their first album, very, very emotional, very tied to all of their story, and like Jonathan Davis specifically, all the horrible shit he went through, and it made this beautiful album. Well, cut to 2 albums later, now they're rich and driving Ferraris and living in mansions, and like they don't have that story to tell anymore. And it altered what they wrote about. It altered how people felt about them. It's like going through. There's so many ways that can happen with different entertainers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that happens a lot because again, it's just there's so many underlying issues that are playing a significant role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like, though, I mean, I don't know many actors, but it seems like it would even be more troublesome because you're more so, like, as a musician, though I put on a show and I put on a persona, it is also who I am. You know, like I'm that off stage too, in a sense. But
Yeah.
as an actor, you're completely going to be a different person and then walk off the set and be another person, be your regular self. Like, I can't imagine that a lot of them don't have mental health issues because of that, you know?
Yeah.
And the added complexity of that, like they can sometimes play a dark role for a long time. You know, that's if you're on stage or playing in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing a lot of people don't really understand is that, you know, even if an actor plays a villain or an evil person throughout the entire movie, that's not easy on them to do that. And because it's like they're day in and day out playing that character. Um, there was there was a movie that came out in the late '90s, early 2000s called The Cell with Jennifer Lopez,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a horror movie, and it was one of the main guys that played the villain, um, well-known method actor. The amount of time that he spent preparing for that role would make anybody, have problems. I mean, so what he did was a month before filming, he was obviously married, had children, but he said, I'm going to go to a hotel room, be isolated from the family, be alone. Because the character was alone. So I'm going to be alone for a month. And during that month, prior to filming, he spent several hours a day watching serial killer interviews and documentaries. And then he had a whole picture around his hotel room of crime scenes, gruesome crime scenes, to stare at for hours to get him into that mindset.
Yeah.
After filming, he needed therapy because he started to have nightmares. He started to have actual fantasies that his character would have had,
Wow.
like himself. So,
I mean, to be a great actor, you have to put yourself in that place and be that person.
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's really no shortcut to that. What I would like to see is hopefully maybe some tools that we can help an actor be able to step back easier a bit, so that they're not fully traumatized afterwards.
Yeah. But I
Um,
mean, at the same, you're getting paid to do a job. You need, figure out how to leave the job at the job.
right. Like in other words, as
Because,
soon as you're done filming for the day,
I mean, going that hard in the paint, is
Yeah.
how you get, you know, Edgar from Men in Black. You get freaking, and then he's in,
Yeah. Well,
oh
that's
my
who I
God,
was referring. That's who I was referring to.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
I
now
was,
he's Kingpin.
yeah, that was now, he does a great job, but
Mhm.
what a lot of people don't realize is how really sensitive and introverted he is when he's not working,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it has an effect on him, over time, you
absolutely.
know, to play, and that's with anything. One of the, if you remember The Sopranos, James Gandolfini, the actor. Now, everyone loved Tony Soprano, but what a lot of people don't realize that a lot of times James had a hard time filming some of the scenes that Tony had to do, like the violence, like because he was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
a violent person. The actor was very, was a peace-loving, person. Like
Yeah.
some people described him more Woody Allen than anything. Like
yeah.
his real personality.
But
So
it's
a lot of
also
times
acting.
but he got himself like he would actually get nauseated by some of the stuff the character had to do.
Yeah,
Mm.
So, but that's the whole thing about actor, and that's why I think a lot of times the general population may not understand that an actor is different than the role that they play,
Yeah.
completely different.
which is, yeah, you hope that there's more people that understand that than don't. That's for sure.
Yeah. Um, Another example I'll say is Anthony Hopkins, Silence of the Lambs, Animal Lecter. Great, perfect actor for the role, perfect role.
Yeah,
One of the things that used to drive him crazy, he would say, like, he'd be out to dinner with his wife or with some friends, and people would be coming up to him, like, doing these Hannibal Lecter quotes. At first, he thought it was funny. Then after a while, he's like, guys, just leave me
yeah.
alone.
18 minutes
know,
of screen time gets people going in his ears
yeah,
for the rest of his life. Like,
yeah. And that was just a role he played. He's like, look, guys, I was just
yeah,
reading a script that somebody else wrote.
yeah,
Yeah.
very fucking well. But like, no,
Yeah,
yeah, I was like, how about you just play me the waltz I wrote back to me? Like, you don't need to freaking do all this weirdness at me.
yeah,
Like, I played a lot of awesome and endearing roles. Like, how about you yell some of? I played the Elder Zorro. Like, can you
yeah,
just, yeah, like, can you give me some good shit in my face? Like, not the most famous cinematic killer probably ever.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I've heard Chappelle talking about that too, like shit from the Chappelle show that everywhere he goes, people shout out shit, and
Yeah.
like it's the same phrase every time, like I'm rich biatch or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it was. But
yeah,
Game.
going back to
But I'm
something you were
serious.
talking about before, this idea that it's really strange that when somebody, whether you're you go your favorite band, you listen to the album, you go to the concert, whatever, that you feel like the public seems to feel like they're owed something more. Yes,
right.
they're
That's what,
famous because of you. It's beautiful, but the transaction over.
that's what, yeah.
Yeah,
Same thing as I was saying earlier. Like, the time you bought was the time they spent on stage.
Right.
Like,
or on
that's it.
screen,
That's
yeah.
the time you bought. Like, the time you bought a movie ticket, you were owed the 160 minutes of film. Like, that is it. The rest of it, they're people. You got to freaking approach them as such.
Dude, years ago, Maynard from Tool, the singer of Tool, kind of publicly came out and said our fans are pretty insufferable, and everybody got super pissed at him. And I'm like, nah, I get it. I've been around your fans;
Yeah.
they're pretty insufferable.
Yeah. There's
let's
not
be,
many people
let's
wearing
be real.
Tool shirts that I'm like, let's hang out more.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
You and me.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's mostly you labeled yourself.
Yeah,
Like, your
yeah.
shirt's a label maker, and I'm leaving. Bye.
I've met people in public, and there's been occasions where I've went up and said, I've always been the like, I just wanted to say, you're awesome, been a big influence or whatever, shake their hand and leave. You know what I mean? Get the fuck out. I don't want a picture.
Yeah.
I don't want an autograph. I don't want anything from you. And generally, if I'll just avoid, like, if it's not someone who I'm like is like a hero, if it's just a famous person, then I have no business going. I'm like, wow, that's cool. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, that's so and so. Okay, I'm gonna go back to what I was doing. It's like,
Exactly.
and there's nothing wrong as long as you do it privately. You don't want to make a spectacle, because that's what the fans, obnoxious fans will do. They'll start screaming, "Oh my God, it's so and so! Hey!"
Yeah.
It's like, whoa,
Yeah, mob them.
Yeah, walk
Right.
up,
Yeah, if
walk up to their
if anything,
table.
I
And,
would throw picks and help you get away. Like,
right.
oh, they're coming. Go that way, and I.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're trying to sit down with your family, and I've heard this from Rogan talking about how people will come up to him when he's out with his family and try to pitch shit. You know, like to like be like, "Hey, I got this idea for what?" Like, dude, fuck off! Like, I'm sitting with
Yeah.
my family, man.
Yeah.
Fuck outta here. Mark Cuban probably gets a whole lot of that, and the other
I'm
Shark
sure
Tank
anybody
people.
at Shark Tank probably gets
Yeah, all the other
time.
Shark
Like,
Tank judges. That has
Yeah.
to be a constant thing. That has to be so annoying. Be like, hey, I want the name of this company so I can give it to all my friends and tell all of them, don't invest in this asshole. Like that'd be the vibe I would bring to those interactions. I'm like, get out of my face. This is not the setting for what you're trying to do.
And I would suspect that most of them don't even know how to pitch that are going to be pitching like that,
Right.
so
Yeah,
they're going to be very
shaky,
obnoxious in that
sweaty,
pitch.
stammery.
Of course.
Yeah, terrible
think,
stuff.
you know, I'm not. This isn't a political jab at capitalism because I think it's the best system we have, but I think it's resulted in a pretty self-centered society. Most
Yeah.
people are
Well,
very
entitlement is a big thing. Entitlement is really a major factor here.
Huge
right.
fan.
So you go out and you see your favorite artist or actor at a restaurant, and you think, well, I bought their albums, I watched their movies. Like I can go talk to them. Like, what are they, an asshole? They're not going to sign their biggest fans. You know what I mean? Like, there is a sense of entitlement to it.
Yeah.
You're not entitled to access to anybody.
Yeah, like I've had the opportunity to meet a great deal of people that some that I didn't care to meet, some that I was bummed I met because I like, oh no, I liked you 10 minutes ago. And then some people I validated in my liking of them. Like, it's a real mixed bag. But it's always at events where they're doing that anyways. Like,
Yeah,
I don't bug
and
people at tables.
if they're already at an event, like an autograph signing event, fine. They may be at least
You're putting on
more
a show
open to
here
that.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, also don't get too creepy and don't stay there too long. Get out and get in and get out.
I don't know you like that.
Be
Bye.
respectful.
Yeah. Hello, thank you, goodbye, and leave.
Yeah. This song, this movie, this thing meant the absolute world to me. And then like, bye. Like, because
goodbye.
Yeah, I feel like they want to hear the appreciating your art stuff at least, because if that's something on your heart, you got to say, but the rest of it, chill out. Like, or trim all the fat. Like, they don't need to know the 6-month backstory to why the song was so special or something, like, or whatever.
I met one night. I
cents.
stayed after a Thrice show to meet the singer Dustin Kensrue, who's a huge hero of mine. My entire tattoo is inspired by Thrice. My kids were with me. It's like 12:30, 1 in the morning, whatever. And he comes out, and I tried talking to him, and I just tripped all over myself like an idiot. And he immediately is like, looks at me like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And then he turns to my kids and starts talking to them, and I'm like, all right, I get it.
I earned that.
Like, I just shut up and let him interact with my kids and went on my way.
Control your avatar. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It was
better than this, Zachary.
Yeah. There's been very few. I've been around famous people most of my life, or at least my adult life. And I very few times have I cared or tripped like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I found that I ended up working for a record label where I went on tour. I went on Ozfest one year. I did a whole bunch of other tours for them. And all of that happened because I treated a band like normal people. And they were like, "Oh, you're cool as shit. Like, we're tired of everybody trying to blow us, and like you're actually just acting like we're regular ass people."
Yeah. What up, Greg?
Yeah. Right. I stayed in that industry for a long time just because of that, because I just acted like they were normal people and they were aching for a normal interaction.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's up? You like grilled cheese? Normal, random stranger shit. Like, nah, we don't got to do all this extra shit.
It's funny you were talking about the dude staying in a hotel room. I was in a pretty terrible B movie. Had a few like cult following horror actors like Kane Hodder and R.A. I can't remember his name. He played Leatherface. He was one of the guys that played Leatherface. And the main actor who was funding it was him and his brother were the director, writer, main actor. You know, they funded the whole thing. He was a cop that was kind of a rogue cop who was trying to take down a human trafficking ring, but he was doing blow and, you know, living this crazy life. So this dude stays in a hotel and does exactly that. So I meet them the first time at a bar. We're all sitting. I'm with the lead actor. I'm with the main bad guy and the director and me, and we're all just kind of talking about the music part. And I was doing a part in the movie, and they end up getting in a fight with these guys playing pool because the dude's so in character that he's become this asshole that he's trying to play. And I'm like, good God, I had never experienced anything like
for
that.
a movie no one has seen.
Yeah.
Like so the method thing, there's an involuntary eye roll sometimes.
Yeah.
And I try not to, but the stories of dead rats being sent to people and things like that never need to happen. Used condoms. Like that's just stupid. Like if you need to terrorize other people to bring whatever to whatever, you need to figure out a different method. Like Daniel Day-Lewis, I mean, there's probably times when he was doing the one who was in the wheelchair. Crap. I can't remember the name of the damn movie, but he did that. And like apparently made people push him around in the wheelchair and stuff. I'm like, bro, you're taxing everyone around you when the camera's not running. Please at least roll the wheelchair yourself. What are you doing, bro? Like that kind of stuff. And Shia LaBeouf, famously, but he doesn't mess with people. He just does stuff that I'm like, bro, you could calm down if you wanted to, but I mean, it all only affected him. He pulled out a tooth for Fury. He cut his face every day because he thought the makeup cut didn't look real enough. So now in any other movie, you use very clear and distinct 2-line cut into his cheek because the scar was so damn bad. He got his entire front piece tattooed for tax collector. Like if that's what you need to bring what you need, cool. But yeah, the whole terrorizing your fellow castmates, you calm the fuck down. Come on, man. Like, do I get hazard pay if I'm shooting a movie with this fool who sends condoms and rats to people? Like, do I get some extra on that because I need it?
Well, yeah, that's going a little too far, I believe.
Yeah, if I'm dealing with that shit, I want hazard pay.
I mean, on the flip side, it is a hell of a commitment. You're really committed to your craft. You're really committed to the job. I mean,
yeah,
and it takes that kind of crazy to do it, for sure. But yeah, like that's where hard line at terrorizing other people about it. The rest of it, it's your life, do you? I didn't consult anyone else when I got my tattoos, so like I don't care why someone got one. Hell, and then Johnny Depp's got a bunch just commemorating his various characters. That's something I'd do. If I had that kind of career, I would have an Edward Scissorhands and a Jack Sparrow. I would have a tattoo for each of those iconic ass characters, probably. A little something.
I wonder if he gets tattoos of the shitty, like the ones that flopped or didn't do well.
I hope he doesn't have a Willy Wonka tattoo. I don't think he earned that one.
It wasn't the worst in the world.
It was. It took a whimsical, fun, slightly scary man and turned him into a straight up creep show looking dude who you wouldn't trust your kids around.
You can't fucking redo Gene Wilder and make it as good as Gene Wilder.
I think Jeffrey Allen White would have had a shot. He looks so much like young Gene Wilder, and he's such a talented actor. I think he could have pulled off the whimsy. I don't think Chalamet should have played the young version. I think they should have full rap Gene Wildered it and gave it to Jeffrey Allen White for that reason.
So it's clear, it's pretty easy to see why, the things we're talking about, why it could go off the rails. And this is kind of what you're doing, trying to help with that, correct?
Right. Yeah, I mean, come and keep you grounded, the actor grounded, in a sense, so that they don't have the crisis after.
Yeah. It's a lot. As I
Absolutely.
said, just from the experience of being a musician, being an artist, being around it, being around
Mm-hmm.
people. I mean, and everyone's, it's just like Ty going through what he went through and not coming home with severe PTSD that affects him the way that it does a lot of other people who didn't even go through something as terrible as he did.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's built a little different, so some people
Yeah.
do it perfectly.
Yeah, some people don't, like that's another misconception. Not everyone who has a trauma goes through PTSD. There's
Right.
a lot of, um, some people may not be affected. Some people get affected a lot, with even just trivial things,
Yeah.
and get full on traumatic reaction. Because there's a lot of things. It could be even neurochemistry factors, neurology, as well as coping, whatever systems you already had coping before
Right.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this 100 times. I'll probably say it 100 more. Some people can eat a peanut and go to the hospital.
Yeah,
That we're all built so differently that how it's crazy to see how some people, and what bothers me, and it's gotten better, is that people have a hard time understanding that others see life through different colored lenses than they do.
well, yeah. I mean, and the whole and that reality is subjective. Our realities are completely different.
Yeah.
Everybody sees things in a different way, and that's what I think makes it amazing too. Is that we can all see things in a different light. Now, not
Mm-hmm.
everybody understands that. Where some people are so convinced that their reality is everyone's reality.
That everyone's unwillingness to accept that not everyone has the same image through their particular periscope.
Yep.
If there was more willingness to understand that, a lot of things would go a lot smoother. Like, let me take
100%.
let me take a peek at it through yours. Oh, we'll come look at it through mine. And, we'll meet in the now we can see better. Duh. Like, it's all that simple.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is not a common thing right now. It is all,
Absolutely.
you see it wrong. I'm like, no, why is yours right? Like,
Right. Yeah, that seems to be the problem. And it's, it's like some people look at the stars and are, enamored, completely in love, and other people just kind of walk by and they don't notice. And that's not, that doesn't affect anyone. But when it comes to mental health, when it comes to someone who's high anxiety or high depression, or like, is that person who a small thing will give them PTSD or something, a lot of people really lack understanding of that if they're not that way. Like I've noticed with depression, it's like, well, stop being a bitch, like go out and go for a walk and hold your chin up, you'll be fine. It's not that simple, man.
I wish it were that easy, but it's not.
Dude.
That's or just snap out of it.
Yeah.
I used to be that guy. I'm sorry. I'm glad that I've learned. Actually, I'm bummed that I know better, but I'm glad I know better. The learning process was not grand, but yes, I was always that guy where I'm like, I don't see why I can smile about all this and why you can't just brighten up. Like, why can't you just smile about X, Y, or Z, or get over it, or calm down, or any of that stuff? And it just, or I don't. It took me longer than it should have to become formally acquainted with the demon known as anxiety.
Yeah.
And whenever I started getting my bouts with it, I called a few people and was just like, I'm super sorry. I really thought you could just be like, hey, shut up. We got this.
Yeah.
And like, no, sometimes someone is in there hitting the crisis button when nothing is happening.
Yeah.
And I don't like it either. Like, I'm so sorry. If someone came in here and was like, hey man, take a deep breath and calm down, try that. They'd be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I will eat your children. Get out of my face. Like,
Dude, mine was with addiction. I had a really lack of understanding of what addiction was like for people. I was very judgmental of somebody going through addiction because I thought,
you did it to yourself.
Right, you just chose it, you keep choosing it, and why can't you just stop? And like,
just stop.
It's a mental illness. Like it's
No, it really, yeah.
And habit, but on roids. Like trying a well-ingrained habit, biting your fingernails or something like that. One of those is hard to break. But and smoking, like just regular cigarettes. I mean, people got hooked on it and it wasn't a problem. And then, oh shit, been doing it for 20 years. Now I can't put it down from the sheer habit of doing this.
Yeah.
Like, and then that they eat a lot, and then it turns into all that, and it's a whole nother thing. Just the
Well,
habit
they
of
want
it.
to. That's why like a lot of times with people with addictions, when they get off of or weaned off of it, it becomes a substitution now. Okay,
Something else
something
happens.
else,
Yeah.
something else. Now, unless so, because even with addiction, there's a lot of underlying factors too,
Word.
emotional, capacity too.
Yeah,
You got the
usually
So
roadblocks that
some
you've
type
got
of
to work
trauma.
on. Sorry.
yeah,
What'd you
No,
say?
I was just saying there's usually some type of trauma at the root of it.
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a
because
yeah.
you started using the substance as a way to numb,
Yep.
to numb the pain.
Mm.
Yep. Or
So,
even if it's a person who does it for fun out of a party standpoint, there's usually still something at the root of that. Like
yeah,
because
You needing
it's
to
not
escape
safe.
whatever you're doing to go have a fun time. You can't just go be and have fun. Like you have
yeah.
to. You have to have a freaking nitrous boost
Yeah.
to get to the joy. Like, yeah, you're masking something. Like,
Well, it's not
everyone's
to
got to
say
look
that,
at
like,
the ulterior motives behind some of our own decisions. Most people are terrified to crack open their own schematics and tinker around.
but every every substance, whether it's alcohol to get a buzz, or I'll smoke, take a puff on a weed vape before I go to bed. Watch a stupid movie, play a video game, eat some crappy food, beat my dick, fall asleep. Like it's not an escape from reality. It's just fun. I enjoy it. So I don't think everyone that uses any substance is
Right.
immediately, you know what I mean, immediately dealing with
But
Of
trauma
course.
to cover it up.
any one of those
Well,
things or all of those things in that order, you could give up. You could not do for a
Right.
whole week.
yeah.
Easy. Like at
Yeah.
no point would you be like, I gotta watch a movie. I gotta have a high fructose corn syrup. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Like
Right.
you wouldn't be dying about it
100%.
because you ultimately have a healthy relationship with each one of
Yeah.
those things individually.
Right. And that's true. I mean, usually one of the telltale signs of an addiction is when, let's say, somebody is cut off from that substance for a bit or that vice, and now they start to get all
Yeah,
emotionally tense
irritable.
and irritable and shaky.
Yeah.
Man, withdrawals suck, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Like I've recommend no one goes through them. Try not to get on stuff that can make you go through them because fuck that. From
with you,
methadone
when
was
you,
bad. That
yeah, I
was
was
not
gonna
fun,
say, once
and
you
I
came
didn't.
out of the hospital, right?
Yeah, I didn't start taking methadone on my own accord. Doctors started giving it to me, but I was on 30 milligrams a day. And the moment they gave me the green light to start backing off, I did because I'm like, yeah, methadone's the one that they use to get people off heroin, right? Like that's
Yeah.
and like that's the one that's more supposed to be worse as far as physical addictions go. Yeah. Did the 5 off, and it was the same shit every single time. I was like, man, I don't need any of this. I'm great. $1,000,000. The next day, oh, I feel like I did a lot yesterday. And then that third day, warmed over death.
Yeah.
And then feeling good on the fourth day. Do it 5 again, but that 5 to 0. For a week, I hung my head off the side of the bed, puking my brains out. It was insane. I got down to 98 pounds, couldn't finish half a damn chicken nugget without feeling full to the brim, like Thanksgiving full off a half of a Burger King chicken nugget.
Wow.
It's shaped like a crown. It's not even a full nugget shape.
I feel like you're giving me weight loss advice right now.
Dude, get blown to smithereens is going through withdrawals from terrible things that could kill you. Yeah. One of the benefits was you could have drowned yourself in my clavicle. There is a lot of room in there. Yeah, 98 pounds don't look good on me.
So, Albert, you had touched on you had advice for how people could use AI to better their lives, essentially.
Well, I use it as an aid, not as a crutch. In other words,
Right.
as an assistant, like to amplify what I'm doing, and rather than as a replacement. So if I'm like, let's say, doing some type of content, I'm writing something, I often use AI to kind of help me flesh out the idea, or even just brainstorm, or
Yeah.
put an outline to something, and um, uh, so it's great for me as a brainstorming tool.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's important, you have to know how to prompt it. Otherwise, if you don't, it's going to give you crap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
going to give you generic crap if you just don't know how to prompt it fully.
yeah, that's a huge part of it is the learning curve of like, and it's not a terrible learning curve. You just got to
No,
logic.
it's doable, but you just have to know, be able to prompt it, because otherwise, if you give it garbage, it's going to give you garbage in the sense
Right.
that it's garbage
Yeah.
in, garbage out. So
Yeah, a lot of times it's just about because of the an entire conversation
Beyonce.
thread. It knows what's been said. Is it taking whatever it said and manipulating that further to get to where you want it to go? Or it might take you five different times of explaining what you need based on what it just said and say, well, that's not exactly what I'm
yeah,
looking for. Here's what you need to do with what you
yeah,
gave. You know,
and it's not perfect. Keep in mind, it does hallucinate, which means it will mess up on a lot of stuff if you
yeah,
don't catch it. This is why I recommend anybody, if you're going to use it for any type of content creation, is you kind of first of all come up with the idea you want in
yeah,
itself, and then B, you should always put your own take on it and
yep,
not just say, okay, I'm going to cut and paste this and that's it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we'll know, the audience will know that this is AI generated.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like I've written songs with AI, and what it writes, it sucks, but it leads to ideas. You know, it's a nice
Yeah.
tool to help me like
Yeah. Brainstorm.
again, like you said,
Like you
flesh
said.
out ideas, and I can put something in
Mhm.
that I have an idea, it can kind of send it out, and maybe I'll pull some parts from it that I'm like cool, but in the end, I have to take it in and completely manipulate and change it to make it sound what I want it to sound like.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
No, and that's the only way to do it. Is as a brainstorming tool. It's not going to the nuances of your music and style, or even it's. I don't think it's really good right now at creativity. I think that's where it's lacking in the
Yeah.
creative aspect of things. Because I even tested. I was like, okay, ChatGPT, tell me a joke, and
Mm-hmm.
the jokes that it comes out is so lame
Yeah.
that a 5-year-old can do a much better job at a joke than ChatGPT can.
I think that's a perfect representation that some of the things that it does are very toddler or elementary school like human.
Naivete.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But then
Yeah.
there's other shit where I'm blown away. Like I'm like,
Oh yeah, and there's stuff where I'm like, whoa, this is amazing.
Who
yeah.
taught you that?
Yeah. Yeah. So and now they're talking like, recently like we're supposed to have GPT-5 coming out,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be interesting, to see what that can do.
Yeah.
GPT-5 is going to come out
hate that
before
every
GTA
time
6.
they come out with a new one. It's like with Grok, for example, they came out with Grok 4. Well, used to it was $12 a month for your for X premium, and then you'd get Grok premium included. Now it's $30 a month separate just to use Grok 4, and I'm like, damn, man, like I want to use the latest and greatest, but I can't keep up with every one of all the fees that everybody wants in order to use the latest and greatest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like there's not cable anymore. There's just 17 streaming services.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and they have ads too.
And now you're gonna have, because you have Claude, Grok, ChatGPT. There's other ones too that I'm like,
Seek.
whoa, yeah, DeepSeek,
Yep.
Notebook. I don't know, it's like,
I kind of leaned into Grok solely because it was less spun in any political direction.
yeah,
I wanted to avoid, I'm right down the center. I don't want it to be left leaning or right leaning. I just want it to be as centered and truthful and normal as possible,
yeah. And I don't remember. I don't know if it was Grok 4, but I remember a couple of months ago, there was this whole like scandal that it kind of went rogue.
Yep. You got with Mecha Hitler.
Yeah,
Yeah, it went Mecha Hitler or something. They had to shut it down and reboot it, and
yeah.
dude, some crazy shit is going to happen in the next few years. It's just unavoidable.
No, there's not that. It's unavoidable because AI is developing in an extremely lightning fast way.
Yep.
That somehow I think it may be developing a little too fast for people to handle things. That we may be having a new situation like that, like with that one, like damage control.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, things getting too big too fast has never gone wrong before.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, couldn't
that's
you
never
argue,
a
though,
problem
that
ever.
human beings, as much as we like to embrace change, we're really pretty slow at embracing change. And I would argue that social media, the entire internet, has evolved way faster than our ability to keep up with it.
Oh, absolutely.
I was gonna
You know,
say,
the internet just
saying humans like change and are open to it naturally was funny. You're a hilarious man.
Well,
Like,
no,
that
I
was the
think
best
I
joke you
think
told in a long time.
it's not that I think we want to consider ourselves able to like evolve and change, quickly and adapt the new thing. And I'm not saying everyone, because the older generations tend to like shy away from new technology and shit they don't know.
Yeah, and the
But
younger
everybody who's
ones
grown up
are
with
currently
technology,
just refusing to look past a certain time at
Right.
all and know
Mhm.
anything. Like, just run with the bit of information they were given.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, again, if everyone would just meet in the middle somewhere, y'all ask for way more information, please. And then
Yeah.
both ask for way more information. Like, because the people who refuse to do the apps and do the stuff need more information. And the people who refuse to do an ounce of research and just fall just foolhardily for the first thing, that thing,
Yeah.
thing. I'll die for that thing. And
Share.
they will go hard in the paint for that thing until the end. And I'm like, no. Learn everything you can.
Yeah, there needs to be one of those drunken where you click the share on social media and it's like, are you drunk? Solve
Yeah.
this little problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you really?
Prove you're not a robot.
Because people don't think when they vote.
Yeah.
I'm a robot telling you to prove to me that you're not a robot.
Yeah.
Like,
We're about
look here,
10
robot. I run these streets.
We're about 10 minutes away from the hour mark, so I don't know what we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would there, as we're closing out, is there any saved rounds or anything that you were hoping we'd get into that we didn't?
No, I think we kind of went over what I wanted to go, like the imposter syndrome, that, everything that can come up, the what things that actors face, and I think we covered, pretty much everything that I was setting out to
Awesome.
Yeah, we like to hear that.
Yeah, and
One foul swoop.
I think what I've learned from this podcast, we're moving up on 2 years, by the way, dude.
Congratulations.
On this, and we're 60 something episodes in. If you consider the boardroom, we're 70 episodes in. I've learned so much. It's been little bits and pieces from every episode that you take from people, because no one's got the answer. We're all out here together trying to figure this shit out. And I feel like the community of this, of like, when you're self-aware and you care about your well-being, your mental well-being, and you care about the well-being of others, you start to understand that it's just a collective movement together to try to figure things out a little at a time.
Hell
Right.
yeah. It takes a village.
Yeah, it truly does. And there's methods. I mean, even that, like, we're all so different. The method that works for one person may not work for another person. So sometimes you have to try multiple things and look multiple places, talk to multiple people.
Yeah, like Lance would say, make sure you look under all the rocks, because eventually something's going to work. Like, he was almost fully done and fed up and out of options when he got the dang SBG shot, or SGB shot. Sorry.
Which
I messed that right up.
I had the same shot twice and it did nothing for me.
Yeah. I was going to say, and it changed his life. So, I mean, it didn't work for you, but it was literally the answer to everything for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what works for exactly what you were just saying, that solidifies that. Whatever works for him might not work for you, vice versa. Just keep looking, keep searching, keep finding.
But what we're doing here is trying to connect everybody a little bit, so we can all go on the journey together a little bit. You know? So we can all look at it, take each other's perspectives, take little tidbits from each person, try to apply it to your own life, try to be the person that has an idea for what we can do. Like, I've always been into psychology. I've said before, if I could have went back and music wasn't an option, I would have went into psychology. I'm so fascinated by the human brain and how it works. And saying all that, and even the knowledge I've gained just by researching and stuff, I still don't know shit. Like, Like I know what I deal with on a daily basis, and like the answers to that are not simple, and no one really has them. You know, they have methods and try this and what, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
let's all dig in together.
Yeah, let's do it.
Naming.
No, I'm saying.
Albert, anything you wanna promote? Any links?
your book.
Anywhere you want to send
How do we
people?
find
Yeah, I
your
wanna
book?
talk
What's it
about
called
the book.
again?
It's called Rise Above the Script, Confronting Self-Doubt and Mastering Self-Sabotage for Performing Artists. It's available on Amazon, both as an audiobook and paperback and ebook. So you can get it in any format. And yeah, I'm also on Instagram and LinkedIn, so feel free to get in touch with me, and I'd love to continue the conversation.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much for reaching out to us. Hang on.
Thank you again for having me on here.
Once I close this out, you stay on. Don't leave
Sure.
just yet. But
Yeah.
for everybody else, thank you guys so much for tuning in. As usual, we really appreciate you. Liking, sharing, subscribing, interacting in any way is really helpful to us and the algorithms, helping us get to other people, and it costs you nothing. Super grateful for those things. And again, thank you, Albert. And
Thank you.
we'll check back into if you ever have anything you need to. We'll check back in with you in the future. But if you ever have anything to promote or want us to post or send out, just let us know.
Great.
Shout
I'll
about
do that.
All right. Well, thank you guys again, and we are glad you're still fucking here.
Let's go.